Right, Kenny, let's start with opening remarks following today's match.
Fantastic first half. Uh, Created a number of chances, pressed really well, forced a lot of mistakes. Didn't finish enough, but went into halftime at 1-0. And then we came out soft in the second half. We came out slow. We came out looking leggy. We came out not ready to match the intensity that they brought. And it's a learning moment, as always, but it's happened too many times. And as a staff, we're trying to figure it out. As a team, we're trying to figure it out, but it's just not good enough when we come out in the second half and think because we're up goals that, the other team isn't going to adjust, especially Dallas. So I think it starts a little bit with, us not being who we are. And we get into situations where, we start mouthing off, we start, maybe leaving a foot in, and all of that, it doesn't suit who we are. So what ends up happening is right before halftime, we create this environment of hostility, and we create this situation where now it's guys talking back and forth. And then what happens is we go into the locker room having played an unbelievable first half. They go into the locker room, and it's all about motivation of, who do these guys think they are? And again, I'm trying to think of what would happen in their locker room. I don't know that for sure, but that's what happened in the second half. So it's another self-inflicted wound. For me, I would have liked us to get together in a huddle at halftime, talk to each other, go into the locker room, refocus, rehydrate, and then come back with the intensity that we had in the first half, because this is a completely different game if we perform in the second half like we did in the first half.
Grant, what's any questions?
What was the message I have to your team after, like you said, and I agree, flawless first half. You continue that in the second half, you win this game, but instead you motivated them. You start barking, give them motivation. What was the talk at halftime?
That the next goal was going to win the game, and 0 goals from either team wins us the game.
Okay.
To do the gritty details, to defend the way that we've been defending, to build the way we've been building. We knew we were going to catch them on the press. We knew that, they've adjusted a little bit with a new coach, where they're sometimes overplaying, and we were doing a great job of that, picking those second balls up and making sure that we were, we could have finished a couple, but we were really good in transition. Our medium block was really good in the first half. And then the last message going out was, we can't turn this into, a mind game where it's about the referee, or it's about saying something to somebody, or it's about, that should have been a foul, or that should have been a card. And it's been the message for the last 12 games is like, let the coaching staff deal with the referees. Just deal with what you can control. And looking back, and this is talking to the players as we're walking off, certain guys, they feel it too. Like, we gave them momentum by things that don't have anything to do with the ball. They're not even in the run of play. And I think that's maturity. We've got to be more mature, because let's be completely fair. We aren't a team built of bullies. Every game we walk out, how many times does someone go, "Whoa, look how much bigger the Dynamo is"? We're not built that way. We're built to play. But we want to have this arrogance about us when we're up 1-0 at halftime. And, there's so many things that we've tried to change. You probably have noticed this. The last 2 games, Portland, you might not have been able to see it, but I sat for the last 2 games because I didn't want to exude stress on the guys. I wanted to sit, I wanted to watch, I wanted to give simple feedback, because I'm a pacer. I'm a guy that walks up and down the line. You look at my steps, you couldn't even fathom what I have right now. But I'm sitting there watching it, and we've given them momentum in a way that doesn't have anything to do with tactics or technique or anything. That's fine, but we didn't match that. And the last message to the guys as we walked off the field is, we would need to win next Saturday anyway based on the results. So there's everything to play for. Now we need things to happen for us. They didn't happen tonight, but we would still be in the same boat where we would need to win next weekend. So I think that it's time to refocus, and it's time to make sure that these little things that are turning the tides against us, they're self-inflicted. If a team beats us, I have no problem. And to be honest, one game. We went to Austin this year. We lost 3-0. Like, we had chances, but they're really good. You hold your hands up and you go, okay, that was a tough one. Well, all of these games over the last couple of months, I just feel like there's a mentality that we need to improve on. And that mentality, as a staff, we walked into halftime like, okay, everybody's going to get tired, but it is in our favor the way we're playing. And maybe we need to tweak some wording. Maybe we need to tweak some video. Maybe we need to tweak the messaging that we're having. But, ultimately, the team's attitude is my responsibility. And I have to figure it out, and I have to do a better job because tonight wasn't good enough.
Can you give me an update on Maples? He sustained like a slight injury at the end of the first half, but he continued playing the rest of the game. Did the doctors tell you he was good to go?
Yeah. Knee to knee. It's just one of those that hurts. He'll be really sore tomorrow. It's just going to take some rehab, but it takes a lot for that guy not to play. So much so that you actually have to really listen to the doctors because he will play no matter how he feels.
And then the last question I have is, you talked about the mentality of the team. You have fan support after you broke the huddle right now in the team meeting. How can you use that? And you talked about not being peaceful in the sideline. What can you do this week to get that mindset ready? Because right now we're sitting 8, 2 points outside looking in.
Yeah.
How can we get them? Because the past 2 months we've been talking about psychological. What can we do this week to get the guys ready and just play at their best next week? And that's all we can ask them.
Yeah, and it's putting together the halves that we've had over the last 4 or 5 games because we've always had a good half, right? I mean, we can go back to San Jose where we're up 3-1 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Can we combine the first half of this game and the first half of San Jose? And now you're not even worried about what the referee does or what the other team does because you've played that well. The bottom line is they need to realize that their only concern is about them. Be their best. Don't worry about the outside noise. Don't worry about the fact that we're 2 points out because, you look at it and a loss from either team, San Jose or Minnesota, and a win from us, we're in.
Right.
Okay. So in these situations, you hate these situations where you have to have other people do it, but we're probably sitting in one of the best that you could ever be in. But nothing matters if we don't win. So what's the focus? It's about being our best, putting our best effort out there, going to LA. And honestly, that was one of our worst performances coming out and proving that first performance was just on us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Coach. Best of luck next week.
Thank you.
Coach, like you mentioned earlier, what was the talk at the hydration break on the 70th minute with the game happening?
Yeah, it was okay, one at a time. Just get the first one. We've been in this situation before. We'll get the second one. I mean, think about the chances that we missed at the end. Some of the best chances of the game. We get the first one, the momentum shifts back to us. Just get the first one, right? And psychologically, there's not a lot you want to do there. Because if you go into the negatives, that's what they come out of the water break with. So it was literally just get the first one. And then we changed systems and we went to a 3-5-2 to give us some numbers. Omar came on and Omar was unbelievable in the moments that he was in. But they adjusted as well. When they go up 3-1, obviously we're going to have a little bit more of the ball. They don't have to go and get a goal. So it's not just about what we did, but it was just get the next goal, right? And there's time. There's plenty of time, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We can go and get this goal. And unfortunately, we just didn't do it.
Yeah, and along with that, you said you adjusted to a 3-5-2. Tactically, you bring in some subs, you bring in Ron and Gray, Zeke, the list goes on. But what was the message to them?
They had to change the game, right? I think the message all week has been how important guys off the bench have been for us. In Portland, you look at Andrew Pannenberg coming in, starting the game. So it was about, making sure that they changed the game. So they knew that message. And then it was just tactically, here's what we're trying to do. Here's what we need in this moment. And I'm really proud of those guys that came on because they did try and change the game. I think they're a little bit disappointed because there was enough created there to make it more interesting than 3-1. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, sir.